From my office at Glenwood Lutheran Church, welcoming you to the Feast of St. John the Evangelist. This day we commemorate the author of the fourth Gospel, and some also say the author of the last book of the Bible, the Revelation to John, although there's quite a few who dispute this. But as we gather today and we think about what the evangelist John is about, just some things I want us to consider, and also some distinctions to make. First, John, the evangelist, and Mary share something that most of the other saints, or however you want to call them, don't share. Most all of the other apostles and such, we celebrate their feast day on the day of their death. And only for Mary and John the Evangelist do we celebrate their feast day on the supposed day of their birth. Now, this is with a caveat, with one sort of a question mark added to it. With John the Evangelist, originally his feast day is held with the other John that everyone becomes confused with, John the Baptist. And often when you read up on John the Baptist, there will be a lot of mixing of John the Baptist with John the Evangelist, and a lot of people, it slips by the same way that often people kind of merge together and slip Martin Luther with Martin Luther King Jr. But originally, John the Evangelist's feast day was celebrated with John the Baptist, and they were in the middle of the summer. The problem is that there was a lot of pagan celebrations going on, lighting fires and such like this, and so they wanted to move it, and they moved it to the from the almost near the midsummer solstice to just slightly after Christmas on the 27th of December. So that's important for us to understand and to know why it is this time of year, why they're having a feast day, why they're celebrating his birth rather than his death or martyrdom. But probably the most important thing about John the Evangelist is the particular take that he has on the witness that he brings to us about the life of Jesus Christ. John the Evangelist is also John the theologian. There are parts of the gospel that are very clearly a time where John the Evangelist interjects into the narrative explanations and ways of talking about Jesus, particularly in chapter 1, not as a baby, not with an infant narrative, but as the Word and the light of God. And there are all sorts of reasons for doing this that I'm not going to go into, but he's trying to make a point, and he's doing theological work in addition to his job of reporting, witnessing, I think is a better word, what he has learned and what he's come to know regarding Jesus Christ. Then, if we want to throw in the book of Revelation to John, then we really get into some theology and thornier issues as well. But I'm not going to do that. It's sufficient to say that as we gather together today, we have this beautiful Christmas season to give thanks for the birth of Christ. And most of all, give thanks that in Christ we have a witness to all that he's done and said that the evangelists thought was important, and we certainly know there are other things that never made it, but we have four evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and thankfully this beautiful gospel and witness by the evangelist John. May God bless you in this Christmas season and on this feast of the Evangelist John, who has brought his witness to our life.